Bree, thank you so much for that report. We're holding on to the chance for some severe weather as we head into this afternoon, with the possibility of damaging winds and heavy rainfall being the main concerns. But we also can't rule out some large hail, and we've already seen a little bit of weak rotation around our area. Thankfully, nothing tornadic, not getting strong enough, but we are keeping a close eye on things just in case. Of course, make sure to stay weather aware. Throughout the rest of this afternoon,
This is a WVVA weather special report.
And good afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Chow. We're breaking to programming right now because we have a tornado warning for parts of Greenbrier and Summers County. Greenbrier County is in our area, and also Summers County. But you see the warning. This will go into effect till 5 p.m. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on this storm because it looks like there's some possible rotation with this as we continue to track this storm over really the county line of let's say Summers County and Greenbrier County. Let's zoom in closer to this storm. This is really around the Grassy Meadows area. So if you are in the Grassy Meadows area off Grassy Meadows Road, you want to take shelter right now. Find your safe spot away from windows, and also make sure that you're at the lowest level of your home right now. So you get an idea of the rotation that we've been tracking. This is a very strong wind here with this one. So this is a very strong rotation just to the southwest of Clintonville. So heads up, if you're in Clintonville, maybe even Meadow Bluff, just to your southeast, take shelter right now because this is some strong gusty winds within this cell that could be tornadic right now. Haven't really seen anything right now from the Weather Service office of any reports of an actual tornado on the ground, but something we'll keep an eye on because, as you know, this is where people are starting to come home and maybe traveling back from work. You want to take shelter right now because there is at least some strong, gusty, and damaging winds possible just to the southwest of Clintonville. But as it continues to push to the north and east, out of the warning area, we'll have to see if they will issue a new warning for the northern section of Greenbrier County. So if you're in Falling Springs, I think right now you want to keep an eye on this storm because it's just to your south and west as this whole storm continues to push to the north and east. So let me give you a summary right now of what's going on here. If you're just joining us right now, we have a tornado warning in effect. This is for Greenbrier County, the western section of Greenbrier County. If you're in Lewisburg, you are okay right now because this storm is moving to the north and east.
If you're in the path of this tornado, you want to make sure that you are in your safe spot because this tornado warning has been going on for a while. While it's still radar indicated, I don't believe we've seen any indication that anything has been on the ground so far, no on-the-ground reports. But that rotation signature has been holding pretty strong over the last several minutes. Now, this is tracking up towards the north and east, and you can see there's not a visible hook. Whenever you have a tornado warning, sometimes you can see sort of like a hook, but this one, the rotation seems to be right within the storm. That means if there is a tornado on the ground, it's likely very hard to see. So don't wait until you see a tornado. If you're in the path of the storm, make sure to get out of it, get to your safe spot. Best place would be a basement, but if you can't get towards a basement, another good spot would be, of course, the interior of your home. Anywhere away from windows, because you don't want any debris to be coming through that window, causing glass to shatter, and of course putting your life at risk. Now you can see we're looking at some pretty heavy precipitation with this system. That's going to be just off towards the west of Falling Spring. So if you are in Falling Spring, you're in the path of this tornado. Make sure to head indoors and get to your safe spot. Now, as this is tracking off towards the north and east, it's also going to be coming into parts of Pocahontas County. National Weather Service in Charleston currently monitoring this system very closely as it enters the region because that rotation signature is still holding pretty strong. Now, if we want to switch back over to velocity, Tim, we can talk a little bit more about that rotation signature. Of course, it is very rain-wrapped, judging by this radar. You can see a lot of this going on. Remember, velocity is going to be the wind signatures and not the precipitation. So it actually looks like, as of this last scan, the brighter the red, sort of how it turns to pink, that's going to be the stronger wind gusts going away from the radar. Now, the other side of things, the winds that are going towards the radar, don't look to be as strong, but that does doesn't mean we're not seeing rotation with this system. That means that rotation is likely going to be rain wrapped. So if you are driving out and about and you happen to be within the vicinity of the storm, you're likely not going to see a tornado. It's likely going to be obscured by all the falling rain. And we've got some pretty heavy rainfall with this system. Now, in particular, this is a little bit far away from the Blacksburg radar system. And the farther out you are from a radar, the harder it is to get the finer details. But this is still looking to be pretty strong, especially these outbound winds. The winds that are in red or pink are going to be flowing away from the radar. So you've got these winds going up towards the north, and then the green winds down towards the south. And in the middle of that, that's going to be where that rotation is centered. And with this storm moving up towards the north and east, you can see it's got winds of up to 66 miles per hour based on velocity estimate going towards away from the radar, with the winds going towards it a little bit weaker because we don't have quite as bright green. But this is still a very good looking rotation signature, but it's a little disorganized because you can see they're not quite as close together as they were before. So that could indicate that despite the stronger winds, it may be losing some of that steam, some of that rotation. But once again, you're not going to be seeing that because it's likely wrapped up in rain. Now, this is going to continue to move off towards the north and east along 219, heading into parts of southern Pocahontas County. So once again, if you are in the path of this storm, make sure to take cover. Now, if you happen to be on the back end of this system and you think it's safe to do so, head outside, check on your neighbors. If there is any damage, report it to the National Weather Service or your local emergency services offices. As this moves off towards the north and east, Jackhawks, you guys are next up. That's going to be towards you about 5:58. So within the next 10 minutes, make sure to take shelter. Beard, you guys are up next after that at about 6:05. Remember, this is tracking up towards the north and east, starting to exit parts of northern Greenbrier County. Now let's get a look at where exactly this system is now. It's north of Falling Springs, still sort of tracing 219 as it heads into parts of Renix Valley. You guys are going to be seeing that very strong wind if you aren't already, so make sure to get into your safe spot. Now, as this will continue to persist into parts of southwestern Pocahontas County, over in Jackhawks, you guys are going to be next up as far as where this system is going. And then after that, you can see that tornado warning continues into parts of Hillsboro. And then just south of Marlinton, while Marlinton, you guys are not in the tornado warning as of now, if this rotation signature holds itself, it's likely going to be tracking off towards the northeast. Now, looking at the latest cone for the arrival times, Jackhawks, you guys are looking at about 6:01, so that's going to be in less than 10 minutes. Make sure to get to your safe space if you aren't already. And then Beard, you guys are also in the periphery of this system. That means you could be seeing some of the heavy rainfall, and with exactly where this tornado is being disguised by that rain, you want to make sure you take shelter as well, because you are once again in that tornado warning. This system's moving off towards the northeast, and we have that tornado warning until 6:15. Now, as the center of this rotation continues, Hillsboro, you guys look to be there about 6:15 or so. So if this rotation persists, which latest velocity scan looks to be a little promising, we're starting to see a lot more of those green winds, that inbound winds. The second half of the rotation is starting to die down. You can sort of see where the red is sort of taking over. That means it's losing a little bit of that spin, that mesocyclone. Now, that doesn't mean you're out of the woods, because this is some very strong winds. Once again, if you're just joining us, north and east, and I actually just took a peek at the National Weather Service Charleston's radar, because they can sometimes get a better view of Pocahontas County, and that rotation signature still looks to be holding a little bit from the Charleston radar. Now, you might see, like we just switched over right here, the greens and the reds sort of switched because the position of that radar has now changed. But one thing that hasn't is going to be the red winds going to be going away from the radar, and the green winds going towards the radar. Now, you can actually see it looks a little messier over here, but we're still seeing that green next to the red. And whenever you've got winds going one way and winds going another way, in the middle, there's going to be sort of that rotation. That's going to be that possible tornado, which we still haven't gotten any sort of confirmation that anything has touched down. Now, we also have this little band up here, so it's kind of harder to pinpoint exactly where the center of that rotation is. That's a great sign, because that means we're getting a little messier as far as the velocity goes.
This is parts of Bland County, northern Bland County, and into Mercer County. And in fact, the rotation is just southeast of Bluefield right now. We're seeing that strong signature here just to the southeast of Bluefield, which is why the National Weather Service over in Blacksburg, Virginia, issued a tornado warning. This will be for the northern parts of Bland County and into Mercer County. It does include the city of Bluefield and Princeton, so keep that in mind. I know a lot of you viewers are probably having dinner right now, or maybe just doing some errands right now. But again, if you are tuning in right now, we have a tornado warning in effect for Mercer County and northern Bland County in the extreme eastern section of Tazewell County. Let's get right to it here.
We have this rotation signature that's just around the Bluefield area, heading northeast into parts of central Mercer County. If you are in Mercer County, head to your safe space immediately. This rotation signature was first noted in parts of Bland County, moving through the mountains, and we've kept an eye on this over the last hour or so, or the last few minutes, I should say, and you can see right now the center of that circulation is going to be just east of the Bluefield area. That's going to be near the I-77 interchange. We're heading on to 460. Right now, as that heads off towards the north and east, Princeton is going to be in that tornado warning. So if you are in the Princeton area, make sure to head to your safe spot. Now, of course, it is raining very heavily outside. In fact, this system looks to be right over the station just now, and I poked my head outside the door, and it is, in fact, coming down extremely hard. We are going to be looking at some damaging winds from this system to be possible over the next several minutes. So once again, if you are not in your safe space, this tornado warning goes until 8:30 p.m. here in Bluefield and the surrounding areas here in Mercer County. You can see the arrival time for Princeton is going to be about 8:26 with 8:45 the Speedway area. So if you guys are in Speedway, you're not actually in the tornado warning, but that doesn't mean you're out of the woods. If it holds on to this rotation, which a lot of the storms seem to be doing tonight, we could see this tornado warning expanded into certain counties. Now, on that, but switching over to Bland County really quickly, where we're keeping an eye on another rotation signature that seems to be tightening a little bit. This is where this currently warned tornado system was initially warned. This one seems to continue to want to spin just a little bit. The rotation's still looking a little iffy, but I have a feeling this one could possibly, if it strengthens, become another tornado warning. We're going to keep a close eye on this one. So if you guys are in Rocky Gap or near Clear Fork, you're going to want to make sure to keep an eye on that and head to your safe space if you can. Of course, but right now it looks like some of that wind is blocking. Looks like we have a new tornado warning just off towards that southwest there, Tim. That's going to be from another system that we were keeping an eye on. Looks to be outside of our area right now, but that's going to be in parts of Wvva County towards the west near Rural Retreat. As this system moves off towards the north, once again, we are keeping an eye on this newly warned tornado storm. Tim, I'm going to let you update them on that.
Yeah, so this is a new tornado warning here. It looks like this includes parts of northeastern Smith County, just outside of our viewing area, southeastern Tazewell County, southwestern Bland County, and northwestern Wvva County, and this will go into effect until 9:30 p.m. And again, a severe thunderstorm was capable of producing. I'm going to go to the south. Wow, look at this one. This one's, the rotation is actually over in Smith County, which is outside of our viewing area, but it's continuing to move to the north and east. So it may clip northwestern Wvva County, and eventually, if it continues to move to the north and east, it will be headed towards western Bland County and also maybe eastern section of Tazewell County. But you can see right where that rotation is, just to the south of I-81 and just to the southeast of Atkins. That's where we're seeing that rotation. Hey, thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah, I just want to give you an update. So the National Weather Service had just allowed for that tornado warning to expire for western Bland County, northwestern Wvva County, and southeastern Tazewell County. So there's no more tornado warning. I just want to give you an update that we still got flash flood warning out there for Tazewell County.
And we also have steady to moderate rainfall in parts of Summers, Monroe, and Greenbrier. Now, check this out. This was actually from our first tornado warning last night. This was in Pocahontas County, Hillsborough, West Virginia, from Lonnie Fogus on Facebook. Recorded yesterday, and you can see that definitely looks like a little bit of rotation, a pretty nice looking funnel. You can see the spinning in that video there. The National Weather Service over in Charleston is going with a touchdown confirmed tornado for this. Still in the talks whether or not they're going to send out a survey crew to survey damage, but we're going to keep you guys updated with the latest.